Y'all see this thing behind me? I want y'all to take this in. Come on in. Come on in. I want y'all to see what everybody else in the world know, that our people over here who keep misidentifying as black people don't realize. Everybody in the world know that you are more except you. See, that's the secret. Everybody benefiting, everybody making bread, everybody know the history except you. And you, when you get told the history, you automatically go into a place of belief and you say, nah, that can't be true. It can't be true. Let me show y'all these images. Just give you some visual aids. See this picture behind me? Let me move out the way so you can see this. See that? Everybody know your history better than you do. See? Everybody know your history. See this? No, you gonna want to come on into this one. You gonna want to come on in and you gonna want to share this out to everybody that you know. This is one of them. Now you see this guy right here, pale skin Caucasian. Everybody know your history except you do. You don't know your history. So we gonna add on to right now what we all need to catch up to. We need to catch up to this. This guy right here, a so-called Catholic priest, right? Look at what he pointing to right there. He's pointing to a Moorish woman and a Moorish baby, right? Now, this is over there in so-called Europe. Now watch this. I want y'all to see this, fam. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? Now, you see the baby right there? Right? See the baby? Now look at this. You see the baby, right? Now, this right here, put this in context in your mind. Look. It says, Mary, the mother of Jesus, had a skin tone typical of a first century Middle Eastern Jewish woman. Remember, Jew is a password, a code word for more, right? Which would have been olive or what? Or light to medium brown. She was not white, as she is often depicted in Western art, but rather would have had the complexion of other people from the Mediterranean region. Nah, you see that? You say, Mary, the mother of Jesus. The mother of Jesus. This is what we talking about, right? She had the skin complexion of what? Of what? Olive to light to medium brown. She would have had the complexion from people of the Mediterranean region. The Mediterranean region. Now keep that in your mind. The Mediterranean region, right? The Mediterranean region. We showing you receipts in real time. We talking about Mary, the mother of Jesus. This is what we talking about. I want you to try to argue with these receipts. Look at this. The mother of Jesus, right? Mediterranean. Watch this. I want you to watch this. Just look at this and read this. If you read this alone. The original people of the Mediterranean region were a diverse group with a range of complexions, most commonly brown to olive toned, but included both lighter and darker skin tones. So stay with me. Stay with me. I know how I'm coming in hot. Just stay with me though. So the original people of the Mediterranean region most commonly were brown to olive toned, light to dark, not black, light olive to brown complexion. We talking about the mother of Jesus. Hold up. Just so you need to see what's going on. What is the skin color? What skin color was Mary, the mother of Jesus? olive to light brown. Mediterranean region. So now, since we got that out the way, now you see the mother of Jesus. She was dark complexion, olive complexion, various complexions of copper, right? Mahogany and whatnot. Not a pale skin Caucasian. So now that we got that out the way, the word black, if you check the receipt, if you check the timeline of the word black, it does not go past the 1100s in time. In time, the 1100s, they were not called black people. Nobody was. From 1100s to the 1400s. That's when the Portuguese put the word black on our people, on Moorish people, right? Stay with me. Now watch this. So we talking about receipts that go back to Mary, the mother of Jesus. Hold on. Now we go here. Look at this. Now we go here. DNA study reveals the most ancient Europeans had dark skin until just 3,000 years ago. What? So DNA studies are showing that ancient Europeans had dark skin up until 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago. So as you see, we all have been lied to about everything. So when they tell us the word European, we automatically jump the gun and think of a European as a pale skinned Caucasian. That's exactly how they want to play us, to keep us not knowing. Hold on. They want to keep us in that mentality of when these people hear the word European, they gonna jump and they gonna think that it's a Caucasian, a pale skin. Cap. As you see, as y'all see yourself, DNA studies reveals the most ancient Europeans had dark skin until 3,000 years ago. So that includes the blue eyes that you see up there. Yo, listen, man. This is what we talking about, taking it there, actually getting receipts. So you can connect the receipts from then to now to the future. Because if you don't got the receipts, you just out here doing this. Bumping your gums. Ain't talking about nothing. We talking about ancient receipts. So Europa, Queen Europa, she was the one that was ruling Europe. It was called Europa back then. A Moorish queen, dark complexion, olive complexion, copper complexion. Look at this. You know what? Let's go right here. So we go right here again. Most of all Europeans had dark skin. See that? Most of all the Europeans. Remember, Europeans has nothing to do with the Caucasian pale skin. They're not ancient people. First of all, they not ancient people. All right, this is where we got to start taking it there. We got to start taking it to etymology. All right, facts. We got to start taking it to evidence. The modern pale-skinned European that you see today, they are not ancient people. They only been around for about a few thousand years. They're not ancient on this planet. All right, so we got to get out of that spell. It's a spell. It's been cast out. Spells have been cast out. And we have been brainwashed and conditioned, put into a trance of illusion where we see and we hear words like white person or black person or European. You think when you hear that, you thinking about us as black and you thinking about a European as a pale-skinned Caucasian. It's cap. So look, let's go right here. Look at this. Look at this. So you see again, the original people of the Mediterranean were a diverse group with a range of complexions, mostly brown to olive toned. lighter to darker tones. Now, let's go right here. And you can start putting it together on this right here. Now, we just said Mary, the mother of Jesus, was dark complexion to olive complexion, somewhere in between there, because she was from the Mediterranean region. And all the original Mediterraneans were light tone olive to dark complexion, somewhere in between that range, not black, right? Yeah. So listen, that show you right there. Now let's show you this right here. Now you got another receipt. This is the oldest painting of Jesus and his 12 disciples. Huh? This painting right here, you can find online. This painting is out there. This is why they hate Russia. This is why they so mad at Russia and Putin, because the Russians and Putin, they all got the real artwork over there too. But see, they don't need to be, you know what I'm saying, hiding nothing. They ain't got nothing to hide. So when you show the original pictures, the ones who got motives against so-called black people who are really Moors, they get mad at that, because you're going to start taking these. You're going to start taking these right here. You're going to start taking these out the sellouts' pockets. So yeah, they going to get mad. They going to get big mad. But they nobody caring though. So as you see that right there? So let's do this right here. Let's do this. Let's do this right here. Okay. So as you see, that's the oldest painting. And you see, well, what was Jesus's real name? Jesus's real name was Yahushua. Some say Yahweh. That was his real name. His mother, Mary, was various dark complexion, copper complexion. Don't get scared, nah. Nah. Yeah, I told you. Don't get scared, nah. Share this one out. Share this one out to all them out there. That's like, I need to see some receipts. You need to see some receipts? Yeah, okay. What about this one? What about this one right here? Just look a little closer. See that? Just look a little closer. Right? Just look a little closer right there. Joshua was dark complexion. He was a Moor. His mother was a Moor. His great-grandmother was Ruth the Moabitess. Moabitess, Joshua. Nothing about black. Keep in mind, the word black is a spell. The word black, all you gotta do is start looking up it in the dictionary. Trace the word black to its origin. It don't go past the 1100s. So how could it go back to Yahushua, to Mary, the mother of Yahushua, so-called Jesus? You see what I'm saying? You got to break the spell. The spell is you misidentify as a color that don't even go past the 1100s. You stuck in a trance. The only way you're going to get out the trance is if you start looking at real things, real images, to trace yourself back. You said, where in the Bible does it say Jesus was a Moor? Great question. Let me show you right here. Let me show you right here. Hold on. That's a great question. Let me show you right here. Let's just go right here. Let's go right here. So you can see yourself. Are you familiar? Are you familiar with the original Geneva Bible? You familiar with that? See that? It says Hebrews were Moors. They didn't call Moors Hebrew in ancient times. The Geneva Bible also has the Apocrypha. As you can see, the word Moor can be found in this 1560 Geneva Bible. So all y'all out there that say you read the scriptures, why don't you go ahead and buy a book called the Geneva Bible? That predates the other Bible that you got. So it say the title Moor was used instead as Hebrew, Cushite, or an Ethiopian. In fact, King James, being a Hebrew king, took out Moor from the 1560 Geneva Bible and replaced it with Hebrew. Oh, he took out the word Moor. That was a great question. But now let me give you a scripture from that 1560 Geneva Bible. Let me give you a scripture from there. I'm gonna give you a couple of them. It say Jeremiah chapter 38 verse 10. Then the king commanded Eben-Melech the Blackmore, saying, take from hence 30 men with thee, and take Jeremiah the prophet out of the dungeon before he die. What? This is a scripture from the Geneva Bible, the 1560 Geneva Bible, to be exact. So King James, he was a Hebrew king. See, it's always our own people. See, that's one of the spells. We think it's the pale-skinned Caucasian that's doing it. It's really our own people that's doing it, that's selling us out. It's our own people, fam. It's been going on since the beginning of time. The beginning of time. Our own people been selling us out. So you got to stop looking at just that pale-skinned European. It's our own people that are doing it. From back in the day to today. It ain't just the pale-skinned European is just a decoy. And I'm going to show you how they just a decoy. Watch. I'm going to show you how they just a decoy. Look. You asked for that's the book right there. The 1560 Geneva Bible. That's where this comes from. See? Then you say, all right, you need another one? Jeremiah chapter 38, verse 12. Same book. And Eben-Melech, the Blackmore, said unto Jeremiah, put now these old rotten rags and warn under thine armholes between the cords. And Jeremiah did so. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is from the 1560 Geneva Bible. What are you talking about? You see the cognitive dissonance kick in because of the identity crisis. See, the identity crisis with our people is so strong, you will fight the right answers. See, that's how much under a trance you in. You will fight the right answer, but you want the right answer. Ain't it wild? Our people under such a color illusion condition, cognitive dissonance, that they want the right answer, but if the right answer don't match with their emotions, they get triggered. Yo, it's crazy though. It's crazy though. Our people are the most, man, I'm telling you, fam, the intelligence with our people is off the scale. But at the same time, our emotions are off the scale. So it's like the emotions, if they're not under control, the emotions will dictate whether you think it's true or not. You see that? And that's not how it's supposed to be. If it's factual, then let it be. If it's a belief, that means you don't know. You see, our people want answers, but if the answer don't match up to what they believe in, they emotionally get triggered and then reject it. But at the same time, get mad that they get treated like, you know what I'm saying? Our people collectively get treated so terrible. And it's all because we all been lied to. You see, we all, myself included, fam, we all been lied to. And the only way you're going to recognize that is if you say, all right, look, I can't just keep going by what I believe in. I believe what I believe. But if I see new information, I'm going to at least look into the new information for myself. I ain't finna believe nobody. I'm finna look it up myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's what our people don't be wanting to do. It's like, all right, look, if you saying something that's emotionally triggering, I ain't trying to hear shit you talking about. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? So look, then we go right here. And then we come back again. We come back again. You know Let me show you this. Hold on.
And we can't wait for you to watch.
Let me show you this. You need to see this. Hold on. You need there go another one. There go another one. You see? There's another one. This is our history around the world. There's another one. When you see pictures of Yahushua, you see the disciples around the world, they all got copper complexion, light to dark complexions. Light to dark. They're not black. You see, the black is the misnomer. The black is the spell. The black is not a nationality. It doesn't belong to a landmass geographically on the planet. So as long as you stay in this black person and white person box, that's exactly where you're going to remain. You're going to remain in an illusionary box. And that's where they want to keep you at, to control you like a little puppet. They're going to keep playing with you with strings like a puppet. Whole time, this right here, these are Moors on the cross. Right there. The whole thing come back to how deep this Moorish science really connect down to. Look at this. You want to see this? Look at this. Fam, look at this. Look at this right here. Can you see that? It says, exactly, a subjective status. You are a subject and a ward. Exactly. I love when intelligent Moors is on here. Straight up. It say, research shows Europe's earliest inhabitants were swarthy. Remember, black was not being used at this time. They were swarthy. That means dark-skinned. Ancient coats of arms featured Moors, and early art even depicted saints' origins as swarthy. The very name Europe traces back to a swarthy woman, history far deeper than later narratives suggest. Yo. Listen, man. Listen. Hold on. Hold on.
We can't wait for you to
You see, everybody know. Everybody knows, fam. Look. Everybody knows your history. Everybody know your history but you. You arguing, you fighting against your own history because we all been lied to. But when you bring out these receipts from around the world, what can they say? What can they say? What can you say? She got on that royal drip with the crown on. Clearly, she got to be some kind of upper echelon, upper class situation. She ain't no just a regular person. She got to be somebody for her to be out here dripped up with a golden robe on and a baby in her arms with a crown on her head. Remember, the crown that she got on her head is significant because it's no different than a fez or a turban on her head. A man or a woman wearing a Moorish turban is a symbol of respect, a symbol of royalty. It's a symbol of a nobleman or a noble woman. You see that? So all throughout history, everybody know who it is. But the same illustrious history that we got, we also did a lot of dirty things to each other. Because a lot of us fell from grace because they was chasing money, power, and control. They was chasing the money, the power, and the control. So you got to take the good with the bad. You can't just be like, oh, we was just the ones that was doing everything good. Nah. Or we was the ones that was doing everything bogus. Nah. You got to take the good with the bad. You feel me? Then you go right here. When Europe was swarthy. See? See, when Europe was swarthy, you would look like, well, we didn't have no kind of arguments with each other. We didn't have war with each other. Yeah, we did, because you had people that wanted power and control. And at this particular time, at that particular time, the pale-skinned Caucasians were peasants. They were peasants. They had no elite royalty oligarch. Damn, listen to me. Do the research. At that particular time, the pale-skinned Caucasian, the Albions, they were enslaved over there in Europa, and it was big business to enslave them. That's why the term slavery, it comes from them. Because Eastern Europeans, Caucasians, I'm talking about pale-skinned Eastern, I'm talking about pale-skinned Europeans, right? They didn't even have a name. None of them, listen, none of them had names. Exactly. They were Slovakians. They were Slavic. They were the ones who was big business that was getting shipped all around the world. It wasn't our people. It was them at first. They was peasants. Now look, go right here. Go right here. Hold on. See? This guy. See this guy? You see this guy right there? See that guy right there, right? Now you see him, right? He pointing to the picture that'll let you know, like, hey, they had to be somebody. Them Moors had to be somebody for us to be honoring them in cathedrals around the world. They had to be somebody. So somebody might be like, well, how did they fall? Power, money, and control. Look, the same thing that's happening today is the same thing that happened before. None new under the sun. You got people that want power, money, and control. They willing to do whatever. They willing to sell out whoever for that money, power, and control. History repeats itself. If you don't know what history used to be, you're going to fall victim to it coming back around again, because everything comes in circles. Everything that goes around comes around, fam. So if it went around before and the people don't wake up and see the pattern, they ain't going to recognize when it starts swinging back. They're going to do the same thing that they did before, and they're going to swing right back into that mental slavery. But we breaking that right now, though. Look at this. This is why these people, this is why they be on their knees, though. Because they know that they're peasants. They know that. So the only thing that they could worship is the original people. And the original people are Moorish people. That's why they on their knees bowing down to us. Not black people. Moorish people. Moors. Not black people. Black is a term of slavery. Keep this in mind. I'm talking about modern day slavery. When they call you a person of color, that is not a good thing. When somebody call you a person of color, they're dehumanizing you. They're denationalizing you. They're telling you in 2025 and beyond, you and your children are slaves. So when you out your mouth claim that, and you out your mouth don't correct somebody that call you that, you participating with that slavery, bondage. It's deep, fam. It's deep. It's deep. Hold on. It's deep, fam. And it seemed like it wouldn't be like that, but it seemed like ain't no modern day slavery right now. Fam, it's called color of law. Color of law is happening right now in real time. That's why they got something called the black codes. It's happening right now. But when you say, all right, you a black person, guess what? You signed yourself up for that kind of treatment, for that kind of mistreatment. So look, that's why you don't never call yourself no black person. Look at this. Here's another picture. This guy, what is he doing? Bowing down again. So who? The Moors from around the world. The royalty from around the world. You see? Look. Now you come right here. Check it out. You come right here, right? Now look at this. It says, the pale-skinned peasant blood slowly spilled into the royal Moorish blood, flowing the French Revolution of AD 1789. Today's Queen Elizabeth IP's lineage is traced all the way back to the 10th century Scottish king, Kenneth Duff Niger or Moore, whose noble blood is linked to Kenneth MacAlpine. All right, check it out. It say the Moorish royal blood also fused into the royal houses of early Northern Europe. What does that mean? That means that the royal family of Europe, right? They started to have intercourse with the Caucasian peasants. They weren't supposed to do that. So since they started having intercourse with the Caucasian peasants, they started to pretty much obliterate the royal blood. You see, they started amalgamating, which they shouldn't have done, with the pale-skinned peasants, letting them into the bloodline, just like they doing today. When you amalgamate with a pale-skinned Caucasian, you mix your royal blood, our dominant genes, with what you say, recessive genes. See, and that child don't know what it is. They don't know what nation it's going to belong to. It's going to belong to the Moorish nation or the pale-skinned peasant nation, the Albion nation. You see? So the child is confused. See? Now, look what happened. It say, they fused into the royal houses. It says, however, following the 18th century, right? Now look at the timeline. This is the 18th century. That ain't too long ago. It says, the once known and accepted knowledge of Europe's Moorish royal admixture has been quietly hushed and secretly tucked away from the pages of history. See what happened? See what happened? See what happened? You see what happened? What about the Mexicans? Great question. Mexicans are Moors. Mexicans are in North America. North America, Central America, South America, and all of the Caribbean islands, including Hawaii, are Moorish Americans. We're Moorish Americans, all under one flag, the Al-Moroccan Empire. But check it out, though. Pale-skinned Mexicans, too. You would just be considered an amalgamated Moor. If, like, say, if your OG, if your mama or your father is a pale-skinned European, you will be considered, and your mother is a full-blown Mexican, full-blooded, or Boricua, whatever, Dominican, whatever, you will be an amalgamated Moor. You know what I'm saying? So check it out. It say, the newly aged Euro scholars, governments, big businesses, the so-called Caucasian supremacists have deliberately rewritten, look, they've rewritten deliberately the history of Europe. They've rewritten the history of Europe. So what you think they did over here in the Americas? They did the same thing over here as they did over there. See, it says the Europeans have barbarously burned, looted, and disfigured thousands of old African European royal paintings. So look at this. Sculptures and public works in order to erase any evidence of an early Moorish dominance. Wow. You see that? And who was the original Europeans again? Hold up. Who are the original Europeans again? Did you forget? Who are the original Europeans again? Us right here. See that? You see? The original Europeans is our people. Damn. Not the pale skinned person. Nah. The original Europeans is our people. You see? Nah. We go right here. Hold on. We go right here. And what it would say? It say there wasn't one nation in Europe that was free of a Moorish blue blood superior rule. A supremacy that ended following the French Revolution,